other part of mind. Or I am really always a mind.
We are coming there. We are coming there to answer it just in a short. Patanjali gives the answer in a secret manner. He just goes on explaining the objective state of the mind and the subjective state of the mind. That is the answer. But other masters make it clear. One example. Here and now, one example. I see you. You are an object for me. Who recognizes the subject in me? What is happening in the mind? I see you. You are an object. That is a thought, that is a feeling, that is an objective word. This is the objective state of the mind. And who recognizes you are? That is the subjective state of the mind. So, what happens to the mind? The mind has already divided into two. The moment I recognize anything, the mind has already divided into two. And now take your question. You said it is a big challenge to divide the one part of the mind to the. It is already divided. I have to be aware. Are you aware of the body? Yes. So that awareness of the body is an object. That is the objective state of the mind. But you also know that you are aware of the body. That is subjective state of the mind. It is always there. So when the mind, because it is objectified too much, it gets obsessed and then says, oh, I have to divide. No, it is already divided. That is what Patanjali explains in a very primary level. These are the objective states of the mind, these are the subjective states of the mind.
So any perception, it's split in the mind.
Obviously, the same mind becomes the subject, means becomes the knower or the seer, and the same mind becomes the object. That is the problem. And that is the solution also. Because I know. Mind, are you playing game with me? So I know it. I don't know. Then I'm in ignorance. It is already, it always divides. How can I talk to you without division? How can I perform any activity without any division in the same mind?
But seer number three,
Yes,
it's not divided,
it is
not
not.
split.
It is
It's
not divided. It
it's
is not divided. So the seeing the wave is divided, the water is divided. But I can see the water in the wave inside my head, not outside. Outside it will remain as a wave. But now I see, oh, it's all water. It's okay. So I have found the seer number three. I have found the seer number three. So now
but when
seer number two continues there. Continues there. You say, look at the beautiful waves, and I say, really beautiful. But this mind becomes aware. I am aware of the wave because of the seer number three. If the consciousness is not there, what you can do? Blueness in
But
the
we,
sky, blueness in the sky. I need not to separate it physically, but I separate with my cognitive ability. That cognitive ability is consciousness, nothing more than that. Mind has nothing to do with it.
but we can recognize the is it object alive or not alive. So we can see the presence of consciousness in external object, like in other person. I looking at you and I understand that you are conscious creation. But when I look to the table, I see that it's not conscious.
That's another question you asked, and it's a good question. So let us look at it closely. I see you. When I say I see you through the mind and the sense organ, I see your body. Through the mind and the sense organ, I cannot see consciousness. But the mind superimposes the false notion that you are alive. The ice is melting, they are also moving. Are they alive? Go ahead, find out millions of the things. Push the button, the engine starts. Are they alive? Pay attention. Let me go slowly. Anything. Oh, let me first come to that point, and then you will enjoy that. You will find, oh, what a great revelation. Go a little deeper. Look at our sense organ. Eyes, eyes, these two eyes. Vision. Eyes need a substance, means an object to recognize. What it means? We are looking at all the five sense organs, and then it becomes clear. Then we will move into a higher level of awareness. One master explains so beautifully in the Upanishad. If I reverse that statement, my eyes cannot see anything if it is not present, if the object is not present before, in front of the eyes. Just become aware of that. You are not present, and I say that I'm seeing you. Not possible. Come on. Are you crazy? But that does not happen with the ears. Your honey is talking in the kitchen. You don't see it, but still, that ear is a sense organ. Look at this. What a beautiful existence. I don't see upstairs. I don't see on the roof, but I hear the noise of the fan moving. Are you seeing it? Now examine in that light. Object has to be present for the eyes to recognize. Object may or may not be present for the ears. So there are two things, experience of an object and object. Object is there and experience. That experiencer is the seer number two.
Yeah, it's I
So
can
it
see.
means for the ears, even if the object is not present physically, I can. What about the sensation of touch? Yes, I need a substance plus an experiencer both. Smell. While you are driving and you feel the smell, but you don't see this object. Now come to the taste. So in the tongue, you have a sensation of touch. That sensation of touch is essential. Then only you feel the food is bitter or sour or sweet. So two sense organs work together. So when you say you hear me speaking, you are wrong. You don't see me. Ears. Ears. So we have understood the five sense organs and their perception. So all the five sense organ with the support of the mind becomes an experiencer, always looks at the objective world, that is material world, that is non-consciousness. We take it for granted that I have a consciousness, so you have also, but I don't see it. The mind plays the role. I can only see you when I see you as real self. I only see you when I see you as water in the wave. So there comes the oneness. What is real self? There is real self. The rest are the details, your movement, physical movement, mental movement, the thoughts and everything, all the perceptions are nothing but the manifestation of the consciousness. So we keep a wrong notion that, oh, yeah, keep that wrong notion. It works in the field of material world. You are alive, so I am also alive. I have consciousness, so you also have a consciousness. But the fact is, this mind superimposes its ignorance, and then we get trapped by the mind and we continue to live in ignorance. Go further. So the mind has accepted you are alive, I am alive. Okay. I am an individual, you are also an individual. You are different from me, I am different from you. The ignorance continues. And ignorance takes the shape of a delusion. That my consciousness is different from your consciousness. So that we are already in a delusion. I prove it how my consciousness is different from your consciousness. It means we have two consciousnesses. But how I prove? You see, logically, you can prove that Eastern wisdom is wrong. How can you prove it? Because my consciousness experiences stress, but your consciousness is experiencing the pleasure. So hence these two consciousnesses are different. See that? This is what happens with the illusion and the delusion. This is how we see, no, these are the waves. No, it is only water. Do you see that? Do you see that? I have to understand only. It can only be understood, it can only be achieved by the self inquiry. There is no other. You can remove the doubt by doing some one practice or the other practice, but otherwise, uh, do you see that? I'm an individual, you are an individual. What you experience, I do not experience. That proves that my consciousness is different from yours. But everything is happening in the mind that we don't recognize. It has nothing to do with the consciousness. Remove the consciousness, no pleasure, no pain. The mind is acting like an instrument. Why you claim that the instrument is you? So as long as I claim that the instrument is me and mine, I'm already in a delusion. Then I see you are also conscious, I'm also conscious. You see, that duality causes the problem. The moment, the moment, moment, the moment I say I see you, I have created duality. I have created duality. But how I created duality caused by ignorance? Because I don't see you and me are one.
No, you create duality when you say I am.
Yes and no. When the mind says I am, yes. When I recognize I am, all pervading, no duality. So what is that ignorance that I am not able to recognize this I am is the mind and this I am is the consciousness.
But if you recognize I am, it means that there is you and there is not you. It's already duality.
That comes when I say I am here, you are there. But when I keep myself only on I see I am becoming the world. I appear as you. I appear as the world. And otherwise, when there is no manifestation, I am the pure consciousness that is of the nature of peace, happiness, love, wisdom. But the moment, so what is ignorance? Ignorance is by default. Since our birth, we live in ignorance. It is beginningless. So the moment my mind divides and perceives, then only I say you are non-living, I am living. Then only I say I am a human being, you are not. Then only say I am husband, then you are wife. Otherwise, ignorance first causes the duality. That needs to be understood, and that ignorance lives in the mind. And I have already explained you the five sense organs and their perception supported by the mind, different ways of perception. So we accumulate millions and trillions of impression, and mind says, I will work with these impressions. So we have a duality. Now see that duality. I remember one thing again from the Upanishad. It is known as Sajatiya duality, the duality in the same species. Same species. We all are human beings. You are that still we are different from. I am different from you. You're because of your age, because of your color, because of your nationality. So I go on continuing creating duality, duality, duality. That is one. Duality in the same species. Duality in the other species. I am different from a dog, you see. Unnecessary. It comes because of the ignorance. Now I'm different from the mountain. How I divide it? First division, living and non-living. So second, look at the genius of these masters. So two kinds of dualities I have created. And what is the third? I created duality in myself. How? First I say I am the body, this is my head and this is my hand. So hand is different from the brain. duality. Because of this ignorance, we have millions and trillions of dualities. The mind continues to live in the duality, we continue to live in ignorance, and then there is a problem. I don't see. I don't see where is the common factor. No, I don't see. No, you are different. We both are human beings, but you are crazy, I'm good. What is this? What is this? Now see from the duality, from where we are falling down. From the duality, we created likes and dislikes. Look at it. From the duality, we created likes and dislikes. If there is no duality, there is no dislike and dislike. Because I like it, I have to achieve it. So I created a doer in me. There is no doer. Doer is created by the mind. Why the doer is created? To be an enjoyer. Make an effort. You look at it, it starts from the ignorance. One master explains so beautifully there are 7 factors of the ignorance. When resolved, we move into mindfulness. So, what is that? Another part? I moved from somewhere to somewhere, but still it is coherent. It is still. So, again, understanding that ignorance, I see this wall. Mind instantly gives me an idea this is non living and I'm living. The wall cannot look at me. That has another approach. But I have already created a duality. So we are focused on the duality, division. So the duality, division is ready to confuse me. And that confusion starts with the likes and dislikes. By default, if there are many, I have to like someone. Sometimes you hear people, here are the 5 things. What you like? No, I like everything. No. Which one you like little more than the other? I'm already playing with the duality. That is how the material world works. It's a part of the life, the transactional world. So likes and dislikes. So once I start, my mind is obsessed with the likes and dislikes. It has to make an effort, so it becomes the doer and enjoyer. So when I become the doer and enjoyer, I must accumulate papa and punya, fruits of the karma. Fruits of the karma. It may be merit, it may be demerit. It may be papa, it may be punya. But that creates the physical body. Oh, that creates the physical body. Okay, that creates then what? Physical body is suffering. That creates the physical body. My goodness. The entire journey starts from the ignorance, and because of the ignorance, I am taking the birth and the death, and in this birth of this body, if I do not follow the Eastern wisdom, I accumulate more and more karma. Physical body cannot live in ultimate health, well-being, peace, and happiness. Body means sickness and health. Body means pain and pleasure. Body means cold and heat. Body means honey and other honey. But the same body is the means to evolve. Because in this physical body, my friend, that we need to understand. That is why when once we miss physical body is the cause of the suffering, and also the means for liberation, for awakening. Why? We have a free intellect. I'm summarizing all those. We have moved somewhere because of asking the question. So, free intellect, okay, free intellect is okay. I can understand. That free intellect is nothing but the free will. The way the existence has an unlimited knowledge and unlimited action. That is why. That is why we have millions of species in the mountains and the river and so many things. We also have the power of knowledge and action, but they are limited. Why they are limited? Because of my ignorance. That is the cause of all the suffering in our life. Because I recognize myself as a separate from what is manifestation. I find that you are different from me, your consciousness is different from my consciousness, and long list. But the fact is, how can you be different from me? Then first ask yourself, how do I see you are different from me? You are 40 years and I am 70 years. Where you are referring, I am referring to the body. Body is made up of the matter. It is the same matter, carbohydrate, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, some minerals that consist of the body. How your body is different from my body. You see the wrong logic? I experience the pain. Do you experience the pain? No. So that's why your body is different from my body. Unnecessary. I gave you the three kinds of differences. The mind plays tricks with us. The difference in the same species, difference in within me means I am the body. So then difference, obviously, head is different from the heart and heart is different from the leg. So I'm already living in the duality and division. And the different among the other species. I'm not an elephant. Elephant is different than me. To understand the objective world, it is okay. To understand myself is wrong. It will not work. That is why we have an Eastern wisdom. That's why we have to use this knowledge. You had, it might have come from very deeper mind, these questions. That's why I said summarize everything. So I recognize the ignorance, duality, likes and dislikes, karma, papa and punya, physical body, and suffering. 7 factors. Seven factors. I experience the pain in the body. So I am has two parts. One is pure consciousness that never feels the pain and the pleasure. The other I am is the mind, the conscious mind, an individual which recognizes that I am the body, so I feel the pain. But in both the cases, I use the same expression I feel the pain. So whether I live in ignorance or I don't live in ignorance. I live in ignorance. I follow the 7 factors. Why don't you listen to me? What the heck you are doing? Look at me. I'm feeling happy in these situations and you are not feeling happy. You are crazy. I divide. I create a conflict in my mind which I claim I am using my reasoning mind to help myself and others. Fact is that I'm living in ignorance. So you see that our masters uses sometime they pick up one factor and from there they ask their seekers to start the journey. Second master says that okay, pick up from there. Pick up the likes and dislikes. Don't pick up the duality because people cannot understand that duality so easily. The way you told me that, I know that you are conscious. How can I know? Are you kidding me? How can I know that you are conscious? Tell me. Prove it. No, you have a movement. You speak. You respond to me. Really? I respond to your larynx in the voice box? Come on. What I'm responding? My all understanding is based on the duality. And the duality is caused by the ignorance. So first I start with the ignorance. I don't know what is happening to me because nobody has taught me that it
But
is
any
caused by the duality. It is only the Eastern wisdom tells you that you're communicating to the world because of the duality. So
but
now
any knowledge
see,
is
huh?
dual. Any knowledge is duality.
Any knowledge is duality, and all that knowledge which belongs to the duality belongs to the mind,
Yeah.
and the mind is the reflected consciousness. It is not the original consciousness. And that conscious mind claims I'm an individual. I know. Come on, what do you know? We know that how much you know. So now see what happens. Today's session may be the entire summary of the Eastern wisdom, the way you have started. So because of that duality, I see, that I is the mind, that I see your body is a part of the world because you are the part of the world, right? But I see my body as I am. See that? I see you means I see your body. So you are world. Your body is a part of the world. But when I see me as my body, this is me. Oh, one body is me, and other body is the world. You are very intelligent. You are very intelligent. We have understood your level of intelligence. We have understood your intelligence. Very good. So now see that what happened. Master uses the word triangular format. What is triangular format? How rationally they are. So first is the world outside, second is the individual, and third is the real self. That is the triangular format. And I continue to work in that triangular format. Come on, I'm your husband, don't you know? Don't do this, do this. So I become an individual. The same conscious mind perceives the world outside, which I am not, with reference to the body, and third is the real self. I enter into the triangular format. So those people who get obsessed with the triangular format, our process of understanding, practice, and sadhana is different. So then another master says negate word and the individual to find the real self. Direct approach. How? Through the self inquiry. The individual is the world and the world is in the individual. That is what Buddha says. You are the samsara. Samsara is suffering. You are the samsara. You, which you use the word I am. I am is the samsara. How to recognize whatever the thoughts, feeling, possessions, etc., pain, pleasure, all belongs to the world. You become an individual, you experience it, that is also the mind, and the same mind has created its own world around you. World and the individual, you have to negate it. It's a subtle journey of negation. Pay attention, another, that I negate the wave to see the water in the wave. I don't refuse anything. I don't act physically. I don't do so called headstand pose. So it means the way I negate the wave to see the wave continues to so called exist, but now I have understood it is all water. The same way I negate the world and the individual created by the mind to continue to live with the real self is the highest state of mindfulness. Then only you can say I'm living in a moment. You know, here in now it's my country. So here everyone say, no, I live in a moment. Okay. So what do you experience? I experience the stress. So you are living in a moment, hence you are living in a stress. That is a wonderful meditation practice. Keep on living in a moment. I don't talk to them. I said, no, you're good. You're done. You're good. I don't explain to them. When you already claim what is wrong is true, it's very difficult for you to understand. Go further. From the duality and the seven factors, from the ignorance causes the duality. Duality has, the moment there are two, there is always likes and dislikes by default.
Yeah.
But from where this duality has come, it has come from the ignorance. That I don't hate. I say, no, you are better than others. And the moment I have the likes and dislikes, I have to be the doer and the enjoyer. Whatever I like, I am an enjoyer because I am with the one whom I like. So mind says, I'm giving you the tips to enjoy and have pleasures, but that is a false pleasure. So I am engaged, my life is totally engaged in doing, in becoming a doer, in becoming an enjoyer, in claiming the doer, in claiming the enjoyer, and that, what happens? I have to I have to bear the fruits of the karma, what I have done, what I'm doing. So that karma, that impressions gives me the birth of the body, and that is why the body is also known as suffering. But then we examine, then the same mind examines. You see, the mind is moving in two directions. The mind is in one direction, ignorance and the seven factors. The same mind is moving in another direction through the intellect, through the understanding. Self inquiry is the only way. And then we understand, oh, it's a duality. Okay, duality, but with the duality, who knows Who is receiving the knowledge? The tiger. You cannot have a classroom for the tiger, for the elephant, for the mosquito. I can enter into the classroom because I have a power to receive the knowledge and retain the knowledge. It is the greatest gift of the human body with the mind. Because if you don't have this human body, you cannot have a free will. It is not only the mind. Mind is possessed by the mosquito, elephant, tiger, everyone. But because they do not have the body, the human body, so they cannot have a free will. They cannot receive and retain the knowledge. So it means the whole mind includes the physical body also, the subtle body also, Sukshma Sharira also, and also the current Sharira, causal body. The conscious mind claims that this is me. This is me. You see, my hand is moving, this is me. So he says, no, this body is also me. So it works as a unit. You look at any living species, they don't have this. So I have a knowledge and I can act on. I can act on the world that I have created. Tiger cannot create a skyscraper. We can create. So I can act on the world. They have to live by the unconscious operation of the nature. So I have understood this. So now I have understood that I have a free will, an ability to receive and retain the knowledge, and I also can act on it for what? For creating an atom bomb, to fight a war. You see, to be angry with you, to get upset with you. Unnecessary. Now see the futility, uselessness of these activities. No, no, no. Knowledge must take me to the higher level. Knowledge must lead me to who am I. These are secondary things, create a skyscraper, create a plane, going to the Mars and the moons. The more you go to the Mars and moons, you go too far from yourself. Very clear. Settle into that knowledge. So, so now I'm coming closer to understanding that when I am given the free will and power to act on the word, for what purpose? To know myself, to bring an end to the suffering. That is the goal of the Eastern wisdom. To bring an end to the suffering once and for all, and to awaken to my essential nature of peace, happiness, love, and wisdom. And that can be done by the self inquiry. So my mind perceives the fact after the I am living in the duality. Here is the word, here is an individual, and here is the real self. That is how the mind has to understand. The intellect has to understand in parts. So, okay. So I have to negate the individual and the word in order to find the real self. मनोबुद्धिर अहंकार चित्तानिनाहम् न च श्रोत्रजिह्वे न च घ्राणनेत्रे न च व्योमभूमिर्न तेजो न वायु चिदानन्दरूप शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहम्. You see all the duality. Who is singing? Conscious mind. What it is singing? Mano buddhir, I am not the mind, I am not the intellect, I am not the ego. Mano buddhir ahankara chittani nam, I am not the memory. I'm none of these five elements because these five elements belong to the existence. How can I claim this body is made from the five elements, is me and mine? So we are negating. Negating is a very positive word in this journey. Negating does not mean that we suppress and control. Oh, this body belongs to the world. Why it belongs to the world? It is made up of the five elements. From where the five elements has come from? The world itself. So, in that way, in a very lighter manner, with the cognitive ability, with awareness, I recognize that I am not the body. That is negation. Negation is not that you're going to the Himalayas and torturing the body, say, headstand pose, and no, it will not work. I'm holding the breath. Keep on holding the breath. Polar bear retain the breath with a purpose. You don't have any purpose, still you are holding the breath. You don't have any purpose. You don't need it. No, but I will demonstrate you. So you have strengthened the individuality. The world is already there for you, waiting for you. So you are already in the duality. The duality comes from the ignorance. So that is why we don't say that you don't keep your ego or you keep your ego. The way you keep your ego is destroying you. In the world, you cannot do without ego. But that ego is ripe ego, not unripe, according to the Ramakrishna Paramahansa. Somebody asked Ramakrishna that, so it means that after realization, ego is destroyed? No, you have to keep your ego. How can you live and work in the material world? So, what kind of ego it is? Then he said it's a ripe ego. Why? What is ripe ego? The ripe ego follows the consciousness. It does not follow the duality. It does not follow the moment you follow the duality, that ego must be destroyed. That is unripe ego. That creates likes and dislikes. But when I am talking to you and I am expressing myself, there is no question of likes and dislikes. I'm just expressing that knowledge. I'm just living. न मे द्वेष रागो न मे लोभ मोह मदो नैव मे नैव मात्सर्य भाव न धर्मो न चार्थो न कामो न मोक्ष चिदानंद रूप शिवोहम शिवोहम. I am negating the wave in the mind to realize that I am the water. That is what Name Dvesh Ragu. I am neither attachment and detachment. That is caused by the likes and dislikes, caused by the duality, is the major cause of the ignorance. No, but what about Name Dvesh Ragu, Name Lobha Mohu? Now you have to pay attention. When I said I'm summarizing, I'm really summarizing. So I am not attachment and detachment. I am not the greed, pride, and the delusion. Come on, that like and dislike is delusion. That like and dislike is pride. That like and dislike is jealousy. From where the like and dislike has come from? The desire. So desire is anger, desire is greed, desire is pride, desire is delusion, desire is jealousy. Desire comes from the duality. Duality creates the likes and dislikes. So na me dvesh rago, na me lobha moho. Na me dvesh rago, na me lobha moho, na madhu matsarya bhava. Now, what a great statement, na dharmo, na chartho, na kamo, na moksha. I have nothing to do with any religion. I have nothing to do with the possessions that I have. Na dharmo, na chartho, na kamo, na moksha. Now, in that lighter moment of the mind, realizes that the pleasure is a fake in the world outside, so I have nothing to do with the pleasure also. Why? I am the real self. I negated the wave to realize I am the water. I negated the world and the individual to know that I am the real self. Where? When? Here and now. Where? In all locations. When? All the time. So I think, speak, and act in the mind through the consciousness to see there is absence of the duality. To whom I am talking to myself. Can you think, can you imagine? When you live into that state, you are talking to yourself. You are always in ecstasy. Do you have any conflict when you are talking to yourself? Somebody would agree or disagree. You look at your honey and you're talking to yourself. Honey disagrees with you. Nothing happens. Very good. Thank you. You have allowed me, you are asking me to stop talking to you. Thank you. I will not talk. I will keep quiet. So when you keep quiet, then what I will do? I will still keep quiet. Why? I'm not living into duality. Why? I'm not living in ignorance. No, but you are doing karma, but that karma is not attached to the duality, likes and dislikes, so I don't gather any impression. I'm living in freedom. So sometimes we feel that the negation, when we say negate the world and the individual, it is something like we have to suppress, we have to control, we have to force. No, no, no. Nothing like this. We have to recognize, cognize, cognitive ability, and that's where we enter into the mindfulness all the time. One more point, that is where the things becomes clear. Okay, you have told us there are triangular format, there is an individual, there is a word, there is a real self. Every tradition starts from there. Tantra has given a different name. Shakti, the word. Shiva, the real self. Jiva, the individual. Sankhya Yoga, Prakriti, Purusha, Jiva. See, entire Eastern wisdom, if you follow the triangular format, individual consciousness, universal consciousness, supreme consciousness. Triangular format. Mind, triangular format. Knower, known, knowing. That knowledge is so strong, you cannot refuse it. We have given a different name, then what? Through that awareness, I negate the two. Why I negate the two? They appear due to the ignorance. They disappear in the knowledge. They dissolve in the knowledge and they exist in ignorance. Wave exists in ignorance, not as a water. The wave dissolves in knowledge. What? Wave is also a water. So there is no reality. This is real self. Yes, real self appears as a body. There is no problem. So if this real self appears as a body, this body, that body too. So there is no duality. Appears as a mind. Yes. Where is the problem? So the master comes up with how to recognize that by self-inquiry only. What the self-inquiry contains? By Shravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasan. I don't know, let me know it. I don't understand, let me understand it. I don't experience. Push your mind a bit, do the practice so that your mind is purified, and then enter into the self inquiry, absorb into that real self. Summarized everything. All the summary has been done. Again, taking the same example, I can see the wave and I separate it from the water. Ignorance. I can see the wave is nothing but the water. Wave do not exist. Wave appears to exist. That is delusion. Similarly, the world appears to exist. It does not exist. That word is superimposed on the real self with the individual self. Superimposed. They do not mix up. They do not mix up. Do you see my hand? Yes, the light is not mixed up. So the word and the individual appears to exist superimposed. So when it is superimposed, I claim I am the body, I am the mind, I am the word, and I have the problem, I am suffering. Long list. Otherwise, superimposition is gone. No. So I cannot, no, superimposition is gone means the ignorance is gone. That is why,
Okay.
that is why we say asato ma asatgamaya, tamaso ma jyotirgamaya, mrityorma amritangamaya. Moving from ignorance to wisdom, from false to the truth, and from death to the. Now there is no death. There is no duality, so there is no death. So when I was teaching someone, so he said, "Do you mean that my body will never die?" Ah, you're not a seeker. Forget about it.
So consciousness have to be in position of superposition,
You de-superimpose.
superimpose.
Yeah. So superimposition is there because of the ignorance. You de-superimpose through the knowledge. So when there is a de-superimposition, the knowledge is there. The wave continues to exist, so called, for the mind, for the sense organ. But still, you are 100% clear. It is not a half knowledge, it is a total knowledge. It is water. So wherever you go, There is always a superimposition because you find the real self. Whether you have a wave at 1 kilometer distance in the ocean or near the beach or deep inside, it is still the wave. So you recognize the timelessness also. I'm not going further, but that shouldn't confuse, we recognize that state. That is the fact, it is living in a moment. Otherwise, we go on saying, I live in a moment. Think. So just see that how far the mind goes deeper and resolves its ignorance.